remember this middle line? Yeah, we're like spot on.
Hey, Steve with Trimble, and this week's connected construction video is how to use Trimble SiteVision to do a bit of light layout. In my case, we were tired of losing pickleballs to the street and the gutter, so we wanted to rotate it about 90 degrees from the existing lines that are there to where the actual pickleball court is that I grabbed from SketchUp Warehouse. Trimble SiteVision uses the Catalyst DA2 antenna, and the app can really run on any Android or iOS or Apple phone or tablet. But the DA2 will get corrections from Trimble RTX, which should get you a horizontal accuracy of about 2 centimeters or 1 inch, which is good enough to do layout for pickleball court lines, especially on a court that needs to be repaved. Um, you're not actually going to lay out. What you're going to see is the zooming in to the model points, and then there'll be a triangle representing where the antenna is at. So then after you kind of place those two, you can mark the points out at the bottom. So here you can see me actually standing over the existing pickleball lines and see from the tablet screen where those were marked and measured. And that's kind of how layout runs. We're going to actually move out of frame and then back in frame. We'll slow down again to show you how the layout works. Again, it's not going to direct you to a single point, but you can just zoom in until you're essentially right on top of that model and drop the point and mark it. So as we move out of the kitchen, here you can see the white triangle actually representing where the antenna is. And then we'll zoom in to make sure it's precisely placed. And you can see even bending down and moving that pole will move that white triangle. You can see in the top left, we're about anywhere between 7/10 of an inch and 4/5 of an inch precision. And then below that is the orientation. So as well as I can zoom in and then mark, plus that precision is about my accuracy. And you'll actually see after we're done laying out these 12 points in a couple of minutes, I went back through and actually just remeasured them, the marked out space, to be relayed back and actually compared to the design so that I can see that I'm roughly about an inch for every measurement. Now with like Field Link or Access and an R780 or R12i, I would have tilt and better precision with GNSS, but this is a great way to do kind of light layout. You can see here we have a little bit of visualization tools where I can actually turn off the satellite imaging, and that satellite image was actually also taken from SketchUp. So if you would like to see a video on actually the workflow from the initial measurements taken here of the existing court, along with bringing the satellite imaging and the warehouse model, the SketchUp 3D warehouse model, and rotating that, please let me know in the comments and we'll get that done and show you that process, but it is quite simple to actually do that as well. Now, the other question is, how did this model get orientated to this site? There's kind of two different ways. And in this setup and video, I actually just measured the existing line and then the lines we had on the model that you saw. And with 2 points and a couple meter walk in one direction, it's actually able to then align the model on site. I could also use a coordinate system and have my initial measurements and points be in that, and then it would actually automatically place, or use a calibration file as well too from another GNSS receiver and software. If I'm doing a larger site, that's actually preferred because then when I turn it on, it'll work and actually already be placed. But for local precise measurements, a 2-point measurement is really easy and really quick to do. So as we go back through and actually remeasure the points that we already marked out to verify the accuracy of being within 1 inch, you can see the RTX corrections in the top left. So obviously GPS is only going to work outdoors. And after I turn on SiteVision and the Catalyst receiver, I should start getting RTX corrections in about 30 seconds to a minute, and maybe a little bit longer depending on where I'm at. And that's really all you need to get going to then start to do some of that layout and then put the tape down for the lines. If you have any questions, please reach out to your nearest building point distributor and we can show you how to do this. We can also, if you leave it in the comments or email me directly, show you the full workflow to SketchUp and back. One thing to note is I could do this with a PDF, an IFC, a Revit file, a Navisworks file, whatever type of model I have to actually lay out basic lines. And then we can talk to you about the different precision on obviously with Catalyst we're about an inch, but we can get better and faster with like an R780, and definitely more precise with a like total station. So we have a lot of tools at our disposal. We just got to find the right one for the job. And for this pickleball court, using SiteVision was really fast and easy to put down some new lines and start playing without losing as many balls and without having to sprint to the street to stop it. So thanks. And as always, please let us know if you want to see any other workflows or if you have any questions.